She called the cops on me for standing on my own land. Yeah, you heard that right. This lady moved in next door, barely knows where her property ends, and tried to sell parts of my land to her family. When I caught her red-handed, she straight up claimed I was the trespasser. It gets crazier. Cops showed up, I had no deed on me, and suddenly I'm in a legal standoff over land I've owned for over a decade. What would you do if your neighbor tried to steal your property? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And trust me, you're going to want to hear how this one ends. I live out in northern Arizona, not far from a quiet little town called Willow Bend. Just me, my two dogs, an old gelding named Bandit, and about 40 acres of wide open land. It's not a farm, not a ranch, just space. Pure, peaceful space. Most days are simple. I wake up early, feed the animals, maybe fix a bit of fence or take the Bronco out for a spin. It's not glamorous, but it's the kind of life where you can actually breathe. That peace didn't last long. A few months back, this woman named Madison moved in next door. Tiny lot, maybe an acre and a half, tops, just on the edge of my property. From the start, she gave off major I run the HOA energy. Fancy SUV, wraparound sunglasses, and a look that said she thought the dirt out here was beneath her. The very first time we spoke, I was out fixing a fence post in my old flannel, hands covered in dust. She pulls up, rolls her window down, and without even a hello says, "Hi, how much do you charge for landscaping?" I just blinked at her. "Ma'am, I live here." She gave me this confused little head tilt, like I'd just said something in another language, then drove off without another word. I figured that was the end of it. Just a weird neighbor, whatever. I'd seen worse. But then I started hearing things. Neighbors saying Madison had been showing people around. Not on her land. On mine. Telling them her family would be building homes out here. At first, I thought it was a misunderstanding. But that feeling in my gut, it started turning into something else. And yeah, things were about to get a lot messier. So, fast forward a couple weeks, and I'm out back when I notice tire tracks cutting straight across my north field, the part where nobody ever goes unless they're supposed to be there. I follow the tracks, thinking maybe someone took a wrong turn, maybe kids messing around. But nope. I find two guys out there with blueprints, orange survey flags, and a whole roll of rebar stakes. I walk up and ask, "Morning, can I help you fellas with something?" One of them doesn't even look up. The other says, "Oh, we're just laying out our trailer pads. We bought this lot from Madison a few weeks ago." I swear I almost laughed. This isn't Madison's land. This is my property. Now they're looking at me like I'm the crazy one. One of them even says, "Are you sure?" Are you sure? Before I can even respond, here comes Madison, marching over like she owns the county, holding some kind of tablet and waving it around like a badge. She stops a few feet away and says, "No joke. You need to leave, sir. You're trespassing." I'm standing on my land and this woman says I need to leave. Then, she pulls out her phone and calls the cops. On me. I'm not proud of this next part. I just stood there, stunned. Like, is this actually happening? Is this real life? Cops show up. Two deputies, good guys honestly, just trying to make sense of the mess. I explain everything. This is my land, has been for years. Showed them where the property line runs. But of course, I didn't have the deed on me. I mean, who walks around with their land ownership papers in their back pocket? Madison, meanwhile, is doing the full drama routine. Arms crossed, big sighs, acting like I'm some drifter who wandered in from the woods. The deputies take it all in. Then one of them says, "Well, this sounds like a civil matter. Until this gets sorted, we need both parties to stay off the disputed area." The disputed area. I couldn't believe it. I was banned from my own land because of this woman's lies. Next morning, I drove straight to the county records office, pulled every document I could find. Ownership records, maps, plats, the works. And just out of curiosity, I asked the clerk if Madison had tried pulling anything like this before. Her eyes kind of widened. Turns out, oh yeah, complaints from other counties. Same kind of thing. Small plots, fake maps, border confusion. One guy even filed a fraud report after she tried to sell him a slice of someone else's farmland. So we go to court. Madison comes in with this map that looks like she printed it off Google Earth and drew the lot lines in with a marker. The judge looks at it, looks at me, and within 5 minutes he's done. Rules in my favor. Issues a formal no-trespass order. Says if she or her buyers step foot on my land again, the sheriff won't be coming out for a friendly chat. They'll be bringing cuffs. And let me tell you, her face? Priceless. So yeah, after all that drama, Madison basically vanished. Not literally, she's still living in that overstyled modular home next door. But trust me, she walks around town like a ghost. Doesn't wave, doesn't make eye contact, barely even opens her mouth. Word got out fast. And in a town like Willow Bend, once people know you tried to scam your neighbor out of their land, there's no coming back from that. A couple of her relatives actually showed up at my place later. Real quiet, real polite. One of them even said, "We didn't know." She told us she inherited a ranch. A ranch. From where, Zillow? Anyway, I've got my land locked down now. New cameras, reinforced fencing, and oh, I keep a copy of my deed in the glove box now, just in case another property misunderstanding pops up. But here's the thing. This story isn't just about some wild neighbor drama. It's about what people will do when they think no one's watching, and how far they'll go to claim something that was never theirs in the first place. So let me ask you, what would you have done in my shoes? Would you have handled it the same way, or would you have gone nuclear from day one? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one of them. And hey, if you liked this story, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and don't forget to turn on that bell so you don't miss the next one. Got plenty more where this came from. Real stories, real people, real wild. Catch you in the next one. And if your neighbor ever starts measuring your backyard, maybe check Zillow before you check out.